Hey guys, got another quick video here for you guys today. We had a customer drop off his machine yesterday afternoon, and he wanted us to take a look at because this machine apparently would not start. It wouldn't do anything for him. He kept on saying it wouldn't start, wouldn't start, wouldn't start. I don't know what the heck's wrong with it. And he said the machine's relatively new. It's only about a year. I think they said about a year and a half. He bought the machine about back in in early 2018, if he recalled correctly. And this is a good Echo SRM 225 right here. So you got your logo right there and your designation for the model number in the front right here, the superficial designation, Echo SRM 225. And you also have your good old professional control handle on here as well too for your on and off. There's on, up's all the way on, off's back, and you also have your safety lever right here as well too. You have to push the safety lever down first to engage on your actual throttle down here. So always remember that, because it will not engage if you try to push down here like so. See, it just will not go. You have to push down on that first, and you push back on here like so. So this machine's relatively new. It's still in overall sorry about that, great shape. And if you want to have us look at it here for him, and we did, and we found out the guy had a boatload of super thick gas in here. The reason I call it super thick gas is it looks like somebody put like 20 to 1 fuel in there, and these things typically take about 50 to 1 fuel mixture ratio. So what I did was actually take the tank off, drain the lines, take the lines off the carburetor, and got them all cleaned out on here for that, and clean the fuel filter out. Clean the air filter out on here because your air filter was a bit dirty. This thing was packed full of debris and grass on here and stuff like that. So got that all cleaned out, no problem. I recommend using brake cleaner on these things. Brake cleaner usually cleans them out quite good. Plus it can also dry relatively fast out there as well too. So it's a good idea to use brake cleaner, then just use a air blow gun to blow out all the crap out of there for that. So your air filter would be perfectly clean. And as well with that, there's your intake air box right there. Air box looks clean still, so the engine was not sucking in any kind of crap or debris in there. It was not bypassing the actual air filter elements. So these air filters are reusable, guys, so these things should last a lifetime, at least 4 to 5 years at least minimum, because these things are not the cheap other air filters they have. There's like some kind of a cotton mesh right here. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's some kind of a mesh of a cotton fiber right here for that, if I recall correctly. And we also put a new spark plug in here as well too. These things typically tell you to use NGK BP M8Y, but I typically install BP MR4A simply because they run hot and they make the engine burn a lot cleaner out there for that. So we have Opti 2 mix in the actual fuel tank right now down here. So he has Opti 2 mix in a tank, plus he has a hot burning spark plug, so it'll basically mean the engine will be lasting a lot longer because it'll be running cleaner and more efficiently, plus it'll be polluting less as well too. So here's your actual emissions controls on the actual designation for the tag right here. This one has the emissions compliance right here specifically for 50 hours right here. So let me see if I can zoom in here for you, sorry about that. Here you go, emissions compliance, 50 hours, EPA. It says manufactured March 2016, so this thing must have been sitting on the store shelf for probably at least a year and a half's time, because the guy told me he purchased it in early 2018. So it's at least, he told me it's at least a year and a half old, so it must have been sitting on the store shelf for a bit of a time. And you also have your serial number down here, so always remember your serial number and your model number will be located down on the right next to your underside of the actual gas tank down here on the left-hand side below the actual carburetor. So when you're looking at straight down like so, your information will be on the left-hand side down here below the actual carburetor, between the fuel tank and the engine right here for that. So here's your serial designation as well too, next to your model number right there. You can get a shot here, T79914240232 right here for your designation, right next to your SRM-225, your model number for the machine. So we'll go ahead and flip it back up here again. Here's the back side of the machine as well too. That's your good old Echo brand right there in the back as well. your carburetor. These carbs are non-adjustable, even though I was told by multiple people you can take them apart and you can adjust the actual metering inside portion right here. However, they don't have any external adjustment to your high speed or low speed, so it's kind of like one negative for this kind of a carburetor, because you cannot adjust it externally with a typical tool out there as you can with like Stihl or Husqvarna or Sears machines out there for that. So that has a barrel style carburetor, and whenever you hit the throttle down here, you have the linkage on the top move as it is right here for that, so you can see your linkage working perfectly fine. Always take care, keep your machine out of the weather, because these cables can get water down inside it and they can rust and start sticking over time, guys. So always keep these things inside in an enclosed, clean, dry environment here for them, because these cables will eventually stick over time if you get any kind of water down. Sometimes water rusts these cables. So the cable works fine, no problem with it. That primer bulb looks good still. It does not have any kind of cracks or anything else in it. And the other side of the other side of the tank line down here, tank lines look okay. They're not rotting. They're not splitting or anything else like that. So tank lines look good. They don't need to be replaced currently right now on the machine. And we did take off the exhaust on here as well too. Your exhaust over here, you have 2 bolts on your exhaust side. You can see them right down there, your 2 main bolts to hold the muffler onto the engine right there for that. Plus you also have 3 other bolts down here to hold the spark arrestor screen off here. We took those 3 bolts off the bottom, we cleaned the screen out, and we also checked the exhaust ports as well too. The exhaust port looks fine. He had very, very minimal scratching on the exhaust side of the piston, so it wasn't really anything to worry about. The compression was about 115 psi in this one right here, so it was starting up relatively easy. So he did not have any kind of problems with it actually starting up over here after we got done doing the total fuel cleaning of the tank, lines, fuel filter, and we also purged the carburetor, and we put some clean, fresh, non-contaminated gas in there. We basically put pure gas. There was 2-stroke mix with some BG44K in there to run through a system on here as well too, because that's what I personally recommend after we get done doing a carb cleaning and stuff like that, and general fuel system cleaning of a machine. So that's what I do typically for reference right there as well too. So we'll go ahead and gun the thing up here and try it out and run it here for you guys. So we'll go ahead and start up here and do that. So there's the air portion of the engine. I just want to show you that for reference. And there's the bottom of the tank, so the tank looks excellent shape. So we'll go ahead and fire this thing up here for you. It should start up in one pull hopefully out here, because I had it running here about 10 minutes ago, so hopefully it doesn't act up on me, give me any kind of problem. So I'm seeing it start with one hand right here now. Okay, we're back, guys. Sorry about that. Get the machine started here. Idling it nice and fine. Go ahead and gun it up here. Check the head. So the machine starts up okay. These Echo machines, they tend to be a bit cold-blooded, to say the least. So it's always a good idea to let them warm up for a few, I'd say about 10 or 15 seconds, and run at full speed all the time. And they'll usually run okay with that after you do that one specific aspect of starting the machine up and letting it warm up for a bit. So the machine's ready to go back to the customer. It's ready to go back to the customer probably tomorrow morning. I'll basically leave it sit overnight and go ahead and start tomorrow morning to make sure it's idling okay and running okay. So it's working good for us, no problem. The back shot of the engine again. Put your muffler over here. Recoil unit right here, spark spark plug up here and fuel tank down there. So that's everything about these components. We'll go ahead and shut it off here again. So machine's ready to go, guys. That's everything we did on there. Typically a job like that's going to be probably about 20 or 30 bucks right there, because we really didn't do a lot to the machine because there wasn't a lot to replace other than like the spark plug and doing a cleaning of the tank and just cleaning out the spark arrestor on the exhaust side over here as well too, for you know, a quick measure right here. Because anytime you have a two-stroke and you're running extremely mixed or extremely rich mixed gas, to say it politely, your exhaust system is going to be clogging up a lot more than it would typically normally do with like 50-to-1 mixer ratio. So always follow the guides in your owner's manual for the actual fuel mix ratio. Do not put an excessive amount of oil in your fuel mixture, because if you do, the machine will be running extremely rich. You'll be fouling out your spark plug. Your machine will be polluting a lot more carbon into the environment, and also your exhaust port may be clogging up, and your muffler may be clogging up as well too, guys. So always remember that one specific aspect. Do not make your gasoline too rich. Keep it lean and keep it as it is in the actual specifications in your owner's manual for that. So we'll go ahead and put the air filter back on here. Here's the air filter. The air filter is nice and clean. Put that back on the side and put the cover back on here as it is. There we go. Put that back up. Want to make sure it's lined up. Sometimes these things get a little bit cockeyed on here, so just give it a good measure right there. Turn it up on there so it gets a little bit tight. So right about there, it's getting tight. So should be good to go. One thing I do like about these Echos is they tend to start up real quick on a you know, nice warmer hot engine out of it, because I can basically pull it right now and it'll fire right up. One-handed right there, so got a real good easy pulling recoil unit on there for that, so fire right up, no problem with that, guys. So that was the quick review for the SRM 225 straight shaft string trimmer here. These are a relatively good machine if you can afford them out there. So me personally, I would rank them like third. I would personally rank Stihl first, Husqvarna next, and the Echo machine as a third contender right there for that, if you're in the market for a new machine or like a secondary machine. If you want to buy a secondary machine to complement your first machine for your, you know, cutting your yard and stuff like that out there for that. So that has been the review for the Echo SRM 225. I'll see you guys. Have a nice day.